Welcome to the official Personality Guru. Because ESFP's auxiliary function, introverted feeling or FI, is one of the inner judging, they're more serious inwardly than they might appear outwardly. Their FI grants them a good sense of inner control, independently managing and regulating their emotions. Compared to extroverted feeling or FI is more individualistic and idiosyncratic. Because FI judgments are formed by largely independently, FI types can be a bit wary of FE expressions. To FP types, FE can seem generic, fake, or contrived. With that said, since ESFPs often use their SE to mimic FE, they are apt to be less bothered by FE expressions than IFPs might be. Rightly or wrongly, FI can also seem more emotionally mature than FE. Since ESFP's emotions are often repackaged and expressed via their tertiary TE, they can often come across as measured and rational. They may even be mistaken for thinking types. Unlike FE emotion, FI emotion is not given an opportunity to run rampant in its outward expression. It is restrained. The same introverted property which provides such restraint is also responsible for its intensiveness. At times, FI intensity of emotion comes out through TE in the form of biting or sarcastic remarks, something ESFPs need to be wary of. Today, let's talk about ESFP auxiliary function, understanding the ESFP's secondary introverted feeling, FI. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the official Personality Guru and ring the bell icon to get regular updates on our latest uploads. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. When searching for a deeper understanding of personality types, it is important to understand each one of their functions. While we often focus on the dominant and even inferior functions, knowing the auxiliary and tertiary ones are also vital. It is not just about knowing what functions each type possesses, but rather how these functions behave within the stack. When a function is dominant, it will present differently than what it is auxiliarily. And so understanding this is truly important if you want to understand each personality type. Knowing each function on its own doesn't really give you a true comprehension of how the personality type is going to utilize that function. Instead, you need to learn more about the placement of each function. Introverted feeling is an introverted judging function. Like the other introverted functions, FI is characteristically intensive rather than extensive. More specifically, it is focused on navigating and managing the FP's personal feelings, tastes, and values. Rather than disturbing its feelings and energies across a breadth of individuals, as FE does, FI concentrates its gaze on the self or the subject. This is why it is often described as subjective. If FI involves an inner intensity of feeling or attention to feelings, it is reasonable to ask what sorts of things are stimulating to FI. In other words, what provokes emotional responses and reactions in FP types. Although there certainly are myriad things that can impact FI emotions, FP seems particularly affected by children, especially their own, animals, music, novels, injustices, and the sick and needy. They seem particularly moved by those who can't help themselves, those with special needs, the disabled, the impoverished, and of course children and animals. All of these things, be they good or bad, can invigorate FI and are consequently perceived as meaningful to FP types. FPs manage their feelings and values on a largely independent basis, while FE turns to others for emotional support and kinship. FI deals with emotional matters independently. When IFFPs do opt to outwardly express their feelings, tastes, or values, they often do so through other functions in their functional stack. They may express themselves through action, SE, hints or suggestions, NE, or matter-of-fact statements, or TE. ESFPs are outgoing people who truly love to connect with others and live very much in the present. Their dominant function is their extroverted sensing, which is often what is most outwardly recognized when people meet or first to get to know them. While the ESFP dominant function is a big part of how they respond to and process the world around them, their auxiliary function also plays a big role in supporting this function. Without understanding their auxiliary function and introverted feeling, there won't be a true grasp of the ESFP's behavior and understanding of the world and the information they take in. In order to understand the ESFP a bit better, you need to understand how their auxiliary function works as well. For the ESFP, their introverted feeling plays a different role than it would for some who uses this as their dominant function. While it makes them behave differently than an ESFP or INFP, it is also important to aid the ESFP dominant function and help them make decisions. How FI works. Introverted feeling or FI is a function that is focused on the user's inner world and sense of inner morals. FI is what creates this strong sense of right and wrong and helps the dominant user to become rather rooted in these beliefs. Someone who uses strong FI is going to focus a lot on understanding themselves and what they feel is truly the right path to take. They want to be sure that they are following a sense of morals and not straying from this too much. When they do make mistakes, they can actually be rather hard on themselves, wanting to find a way to make amends. They care deeply about doing what they feel is right and want to be sure that they are not going against these inner morals. While this is an introverted function, it is still very much connected to the world in the sense of caring for what state it is in. The FI user might not gain those morals and beliefs outwardly, but they do want to be sure that they consider how their actions are affecting others. It is, however, based on the person's own internal sense of values and is rarely something that can be affected by the outside world or social norms. Instead, it is based on what the FI user feels is right and what they know to be true in their hearts. There are common misconceptions that FI is simply a strong connection to inner feelings, but it goes much deeper than this. This is how the INFP, ISFPs make decisions, and how they help to understand the best choices to make for themselves and others. It is tied to their values and morals, causing them to strive to do what they believe to be good and right. Auxiliary FI and ESFPs. For the ESFP, their auxiliary FI plays a big role in how they make decisions and what they value. This is their internal set of morals, helping the ESFP to figure out what they believe is right and wrong. While their dominant function is based on the physical world and drives them to take action in the moment, their FI is what helps balance this out and gives the ESFP a sense of how to avoid doing things they consider bad or wrong. This is where people misunderstand the ESFP and don't realize how important their inner morals actually are to them. How about you as an ESFP or any other personality type? What are your auxiliary functions? Be sure to watch until the end and share your experience for a chance to have your comment pinned. They value doing what is right and don't want to do anything which might harm them or other people. They can be misunderstood and considered reckless or flighty, when in reality the ESFP often has a firm grasp on their actions and strive to do what they feel is right. While they might become caught up in the present moment and can seem reckless because of this, the ESFP does veer too far from doing what they believe is right. They still have a moral compass that inspires their actions and helps the ESFP to avoid doing anything which breaks away from this. Their FI helps them to avoid choices that are too caught up in the moment that they betray who they are. Instead, the ESFP takes action when they are inspired to do so. Before we continue, if you enjoy this video, make sure to give us a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the official Personality Guru for more amazing videos. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to stay updated with our content. Their introverted feeling is what causes the ESFP to value authenticity and honest with themselves and others. They care about being true to who they are, always striving to understand themselves better. This can make the ESFP truly confident in their choices and beliefs, since they spend a long time refining this and working to understand what they truly desire and believe in. This is something most people don't understand about ESFPs at first glance, which is why digging deeper is so important. While they are connected to the physical world and live very much in the present, the ESFP also cares about doing what is right and staying true to themselves. They value being considerate of others and taking time to be sure they are not doing anything which is harmful if it can be avoided. They do care about following their passions and certainly living in the moment, but they also care about being sincere and honest.